Everybody. Hope you're doing well. It is Saturday, December 18th at 3:39 p.m. and Purdue has just improved to 10-1 with a somewhat effortless win over Butler. Butler did not look good. They hung with Purdue for about 10 or 12 minutes of the first half before Purdue started putting some space between them. Um, Purdue just controlled Butler. That's all there was to it. Butler didn't really have an answer for Purdue's bigs specifically. They didn't have an answer for Zach Edey. Trey Williams started the game. It's the first game I think he started this season where he didn't come off the bench. And the interesting kind of byproduct of that seems to be that Edey looked super motivated from the jump when he came in the game. So that's a good thing. Williams didn't play exceptionally well. In fact, to start the game, he wasn't flexing his muscle much at all. He finished the game pretty solidly, but he didn't play the game that he's been playing the last few games off the bench. It's kind of choose your poison. This is what Purdue is, right? This is what the problems that this lineup creates for other teams. It's difficult. It's difficult to defend this Purdue team. It's difficult to go against this Purdue team. And it wasn't only offense that propelled Purdue to this easy victory, 77-48 today in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, recently renamed about I don't know, months ago, 2 months ago, in Indianapolis in the horrible Crossroads Classic. Crossroads Classic, I'm glad it's over. That was the last one that's on the books. Painter says he wants to keep the Crossroads. It's funny. His reason for wanting to keep the Crossroads Classic is the same reason that I want it gone, and I'll explain here. He wants the Crossroads Classic to be on Purdue's schedule because it's a hostile, somewhat neutral, somewhat hostile environment. It's not a fun environment as a fan for me. For a fan like me, I don't like it because you're surrounded by IU fans who are just literally putting on whatever gear they can for the other team that's playing Purdue. These people are tough for me to swallow. And I've been to two of the Crossroads games. Purdue was 1-1, I think, in those games. Maybe I've been to three, but regardless, I don't like the event at all. That's okay. If you like it, if you love it, good. That's fine. I just never have liked it, and I've tried it myself, and it doesn't work for me. But Purdue improves to 10-1 on the season. They did it relatively easily. I'll go over some of the stats here. Ivy played an excellent game, just an all-around excellent game. The thing that propelled him today, he shot the three just amazingly. 6 for 6, spread out over both halves. Hit both of his free throws, finishes with 22 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, a steal. Had 3 turnovers. This is something that Jaden will do. But really, really noteworthy game. Really, he played a patient brand of basketball. He had a steal with a dunk, which was an exclamation point at the end of the first half on a little bit of a run for Purdue. Purdue at one point, I think, went from like a 6-point lead to a 12-point lead in like a matter of seconds in real game time. Just a really, really solid effort for Purdue. Zach Edey, of course, who I just spoke about, really bullied Butler. They didn't have anything they could do. And I saw a couple of scenes that was pretty funny. You had guys leaning up against Edey and trying to talk trash. And Edey just kind of looked like almost like stone-faced. Didn't seem fazed by them in any way. He finishes with 14 points, 6 of 8 shooting, 11 rebounds, 2 blocked shots, only 1 turnover. Williams played a solid game, not somewhat, but absolutely limited by his foul trouble. He had 4 fouls, I think, with 10 minutes left in the second half. He got a couple cheap ones in clusters, I think, in both halves. Pardon me. And he finished with 10 points, 5 of 6 shooting. He was 5 for 5. He was 5 for 5. No, he was 4 for 4, pardon me. Then missed a shot, then hit another one. He had 6 rebounds, 2 assists. But like I said, he was really limited in his numbers because of foul trouble. Before I go any further, let me thank Martin Vintage. Enter Boyle at checkout. Get 15% off. MartinVintage.com. Great t-shirts, great retro stuff. Purdue family. Gridiron Metalworks, of course. You can head there. See some of the works of art those people put together. Amazing stuff. Just beautiful, tough product. It's gridironmetalworks.com. Enter Boiled at checkout for 15% off. And of course, AJ's. If you're going up to the game on Monday versus Incarnate Word, maybe you want to get a pint, a burger, some Italian beef. Head over to AJ's. Enjoy the televisions. And right now, I'm YouTube TV. I'm sure they have ESPN at AJ's, which I don't because of the conflict between Disney and Google. So ESPN is off of YouTube TV right now, which is lousy since it's bowl game season. I'm one of the weirdos who actually like to watch inconsequential bowl games. But head over to AJ's, eataj's.com if you want to order ahead. Great place, great guys, really nice people, really good food. So anyway, back to the game. Let's see, who else? Morton played another great game. He's playing super efficiently. His plus and minus, I'm sure, is awesome. He just had another solid game. There's a lot of good things happening right now. The biggest one, I think, in this game was we saw the defense kind of get back to what makes Purdue great, meaning they contested a lot of shots. Almost every shot that Butler was putting up until about the 7-minute mark into the second half, they were just contesting everything. And Butler shot poorly and played really badly. Butler really doesn't look like they have any big man to compete with either of Purdue's bigs, or even, they don't have a guy that can match up with First very well. They don't have a guy that that matches up with Gillis. Gillis is still a bully. Gillis finished with 6 points, 4 for 4, free throws, 4 rebounds. Just played tough. First was the beneficiary of many, many double, triple, and even quad teams on Ivy and Edey. Butler looked like they over-pursued Purdue all the time. They just would collapse on drives, or if a ball got into Edey, if they couldn't deny him the ball, they would send everybody around, everybody to swarm. Edey was acting a lot like Trey Williams as he found players that were just heading to the basket. It was kind of easy money at that point. Let's see, Edey has. I don't think that's right. According to the official score, it says Edey had zero assists. I don't think that's true. And I don't even know how they would think that's true. I saw him dump the ball 4 or 5 times over to Gillis and First. I don't understand that. Also, Ivy, a friend of mine, we were watching the game together, and he had a great point. He said, when you're dealing with fundamental basketball, they always say, don't leave your feet without knowing exactly what you do. And it looks a lot of times like Ivy leaves his feet and makes his decision in the air. I don't know if he actually is doing that. I think he leaves his feet. He knows he's not actually going to shoot it because he knows he's going to get defenders collapsing on him. And then he wraps the ball around their back and dumps it over to Edey specifically, where Edey gets an easy, wide open dunk. Purdue did that all day, and they really exploited Butler's inability to stay true in defense. They over pursued everything. Butler tried to extend their zone out and trap Purdue, and it did not work. I mean, I think they had 1 or 2 times where it caused a turnover. Although Purdue still had 10 turnovers. But this is what I was hoping for when teams start trying to extend that zone, extend that trap, that Purdue makes them pay, and they really, really made Butler pay today. So Purdue ends up 10-1. They beat Butler 77-48. I don't have much else for you. Purdue plays Incarnate Word on Monday. They are playing at, I think it's a 7 o'clock. Nope. It's an 8 o'clock tip-off. 8 o'clock tip-off. And if you are a BTN, or you're a YouTube TV consumer, then you'll get to watch that one. It's on BTN. Today was on Fox. Purdue didn't play a game on ESPN until January 11, I believe. So if that's the most important thing, that's the most important reason I have television, live streaming television, is that. So I hope they get that figured out. Ben Cotton has a comment. My favorite thing about the game is that the Boilers didn't let the lead close late. They just held Butler at arm's length. That's a great point. And I think everybody who's watched Purdue play has you get some nervousness with a big lead, but this game didn't feel like that, right, Ben? It did not feel like it was one that Purdue had anything but an absolute grip on the game. Butler was not much of a contender with Purdue. Butler was down a man. They had a guy who was sick, I believe. But it's just like the Florida State game. It wouldn't have mattered. Today it wouldn't have mattered. There was not much Butler could do to counter Purdue, unless they had a 7-footer they were hiding, which I don't think they do. They're number 33, who's there. I don't know how tall he is, but he's very wooden when he moves. And Butler needs a big, strong guy. You know, they need a big that can counteract a Big Ten type big man, and they don't have that on the roster. So Butler is a program to me that's not going the right direction. So it doesn't matter. I'm not a Butler fan, so they shouldn't care what I think. But yeah, so Greg McManus says, yeah, the Michigan game is on January 11th. That's a road game for Purdue, and that is on ESPN. So that's the next time, if you've got this TV problem that I have, it might come into your into your orbit that it'll bother you. But I hope and I think it'll be settled. This has happened before with YouTube TV. They tend to negotiate their way out of this, but in the meantime, the consumer kind of suffers. It pisses me off a bit, but I think it's a tactic they use on purpose to get leverage to make people angry. But I get angry at YouTube, so that's about it. Hope you have a great afternoon. Like I said, Saturday, December 18th, 3:50. It's dark here. Very dreary day, but pretty bright inside because the Crossroads Classic event is over, and Purdue ends it on a high note after just a pretty crappy result over and over in Indianapolis. I'm glad it's over, and I'm also excited about this little stretch here for our Boilers to tune up a little bit before they go back into Big Ten play all the way. Have a great day. God bless you. Hammer down. Talk to you soon.